Greetings ladies and gentlemen, Adrian here. Welcome back to the channel and to another MMO discussion video. This time for Star Wars, The Old Republic. And this is largely because I watched the movie this week, The Last Jedi. And look, I'm not going to talk about the movie. This is not a movie review or whatever. I don't do that here on my channel. It's all about MMOs, alright? But I'm just going to touch on a couple of things, especially just the storytelling, without any spoilers and none of that bullshit. I just want to say that having watched the latest film and even the first one of this new trilogy, what that's made me realize now is that when it comes to Star Wars storytelling and plot writing and character building and all that stuff, I think, for me, I don't know about you guys, but I expect you to tell me in the comment section below, when it comes to that, story, characters, plot, Knights of the Old Republic, KOTOR 1, 2, and Star Wars The Old Republic MMORPG has given me the best Star Wars storytelling narrative experience in any Star Wars entertainment medium to date. It may sound like I'm stating the obvious because, hey, it is BioWare. They are excellent storytellers, and that's all credit to them based on their CV of excellent games in the past. But if you've played KOTOR 1 and KOTOR 2 and like that story and setting and everything, then Star Wars The Old Republic, when I first jumped in, absolutely delivers. Now this feeling, I mean, I really do appreciate everything that I've played through, all the stories that I've gone through on my Sith Warrior. That's my class in SWTOR that I absolutely love and I do miss. And everything that I've played through on him, you know, I start thinking about that. Wow, there's so much more, you know, plot continuity and character building and just awesome stuff in the MMORPG that these new Disney films, you know, I know I'm comparing like apples to oranges with movies versus video games. The budgets are different, the writers are different, and as a Star Wars fan, I do look at stuff like that, and for me, I'll say it again, the best narrative experience now. I truly appreciate Star Wars The Old Republic, the MMO. And you know what's funny? Every time, especially with this new Disney, you know, cycle of movies or whatever, every time December rolls around, it's kind of in your head that, oh, there's a new Star Wars movie that's going to be coming out. And because I'm quite the nerd, you know, when Force Awakens came out, I'm like, okay, time to go back to Star Wars The Old Republic, just to get my feel and get my enjoyment of being, you know, in a video game world that is related to the IP. Same thing with the Hobbit movies. When the Hobbit came out, I'm like, yep, I'm gonna be on Lotro a lot more. I'm gonna roll a dwarf character. That's just how I am, and I'm sure I think there are people like that out there, just like me. You know, same thing with Rogue One. When Rogue One season rolled into town, I'm like, I kind of wish there was a game out there that is taking place in present time. And I'm gonna go back to Star Wars The Old Republic and check out, you know, what's up. So that's the kind of person that I am. And for this movie, Last Jedi, you know, after watching it, I'm like, oh, I'm feeling the pull. I'm feeling that pull again to go back to Star Wars The Old Republic and see what's up, see what's new, you know. But this time around, there's obvious limitations there because, you know, my channel is somewhat grown, and I'm reviewing MMORPGs now from a new player perspective. So there has to be weight to the decisions that I pick. You know, I can't simply just spend more time in this MMO and just disregard what I'm reviewing next. But I really feel that urge to go back to Star Wars The Old Republic and give it another clean look. Start from over and go all the way up and check it out from a new player's mindset. Same thing I've done for the Secret World Legends this year. Even though I've reviewed it in the past, I went back and did it this year for Legends. So I'm thinking of jumping back in 2018 for Star Wars The Old Republic. I do have like a Star Wars review on my channel, but I really wouldn't call it a review. I don't know what I was doing. There's 3 early reviews on my channel that you should not watch. It's the 10 reasons for Wildstar, it's the 10 reasons for the first Secret World, and then the 10 reasons for Star Wars The Old Republic. Don't watch that. That's old stuff now. I was just experimenting with types of content to see if I could, you know, figure something out, and I did. It's the new player review. So that's what I want to do for Star Wars The Old Republic moving forward. So let's go back to SWTOR and that storytelling. Just a little bit of story here, discussion. That's what this video is about. When I first jumped in, as I said, I really was expecting a continuation of KOTOR 2, and I immediately thought, okay, Star Wars The Old Republic is going to continue that story somewhat, in some way. and it wasn't the case, but I still enjoyed a lot of the vanilla content. I mean, there's so much things there. It expounded on stuff that was in KOTOR and KOTOR 2, and of course the later expansion, I think Shadow of Revan, you know, that was excellent, because a lot of the things in the vanilla content, there's a lot of payoff there. You know, it builds something up. There's a clear beginning, there's a clear middle, and there's a clear end. And I'm borrowing this quote from Mark Hamill, who says that a lot in his interviews about the first trilogy. That happens a lot in the SWTOR MMO, especially the vanilla stories, and I really like that. Now, after this first couple of expansions, then we get to the big one, the Knights of the Fallen Empire and the Throne stuff. Just basically the Outland stuff. That's where things got shaken up a little bit for me in my Star Wars experience. That's when I felt the stories, the quality of the storytelling was increasing. And what I mean by that is there's more storytelling cinematics, there's more dialogue, you know, and the quality of the voice acting, where everything started to, in my opinion, not fall apart, but, you know, just degrade a little bit. It's just the quality of life as an MMO. The whole Outland stuff, all the Emperor Valkorian stuff was great for storytelling, but at the expense of the MMO. That's what I felt at the time when that was coming out, and it kind of reflected in the game, especially in the server that I was on, in the two guilds that I was on. I was in a light side guild and I was in a dark side guild, and both of them, you know, just started bleeding players, and my server started to go empty. And on top of that, there was the whole thing with the store, where I was just at, you know, right at the point of I'm not having fun anymore, or, you know, there's better options out there, and I was at the breaking point. And then BioWare and EA introduced the crate the cartel crate opening experience or whatever, and I thought, okay, that's it, you know. I was just so close to saying enough is enough, and then when that came out, that's what really drove me off, and I haven't really gone back and subbed again to play beyond the throne expansion. But I will say this again, all comes back to story here in discussion. As an MMO, it's got excellent story. It's just that the Outland stuff, you know, it's very much single player, which is one of my complaints too when I think about it. I really enjoy the class stories, as I said in the beginning of this video. The class stories were excellent. There's branching paths, lots of characters, good plot, and that's the kind of stuff that MMOs need, you know, your heroic beginning story. And the problem is, when you reach the Outland stuff, at least this is what I remember, once you've become the Outlander in the Zion and whatever, you know, a lot of what you've done in the vanilla content becomes irrelevant. That's how I feel, you know. And especially at the beginning, when some of your companions go away for no reason, and there wasn't really a good explanation of, oh, why isn't this so and so here? Oh, this person is not, you know, where did they go? Of course, BioWare and EA introduced some of them later on, and I believe you could. There was this. Oh, was this at level 65 when you could start sort of building your mini fortress or whatever, and then you could go and recruit some of your old companions. That really killed this, you know, killed the momentum for me, because up to that point I was having so much fun with the vanilla content and story and how those companions were with me, and then all of a sudden the whole Outland stuff just nope, that was let it die, let's kill it, let it die. There's a lot of similarities there with what Disney is trying to do. Now that I think about it, there's a lot of similarities there. So I guess all I'm saying is, you know, I have, again, the title of the video, I've got so much more appreciation now for the, you know, Star Wars: The Old Republic's storytelling, the cohesiveness, the satisfaction, the, you know, the payoff, the closure from a lot of the storytelling plot points. You know, your beginning and your end, and who you are when you started, and what you've become at the end of your class story. That was, you know, I record all my cutscenes, and which some of which is playing in the background right now, because that's how much they mean to me. You know, I could combine my entire Sith Warrior storyline and make a full movie out of it, and I'll watch it. I'll watch the whole damn thing, man. Dark side, yo. Dark side. I love my Sith Warrior. And I hope in the future, again, this is down to Star Wars: The Old Republic, the MMOs ROI. How much money are they making? You know, what are the subscription numbers look like? But I really wish they'd bring back class stories. If they do that, man, I am so coming back. But But then again, I've not played the new story, so I don't know if it's getting better or not. So I do hope that if there are any Star Wars: The Old Republic players out there that are watching this and you're an active player, feel free to share your thoughts, man. I mean, just about storytelling in Star Wars video games in general. Which Star Wars medium has given you, the best narrative experience? Do you think it's still the movies? And movies are movies. The whole point of the Star Wars movies, is to give you a place to just lose yourself. It's cinema. It's lots of action. There's only so much you can cram into like a 2-hour flick. Whereas in other mediums, you got the novels, and of course you got the video games, and I'm a video game channel, so we're obviously going to talk about video games. But so yeah, if there's a better Star Wars video game out there that you think handles story way better than SWTOR ever will, regardless of what the setting is, or timeline of the story or whatever, if you've got something, suggest it. I may just go play it. But right now, really thinking about going back to Star Wars: The Old Republic and starting fresh, leveling from 0 all the way up to cap, and giving that a fair shake, a fair review. And yeah, I guess that'll be another assignment for 2018. So that wraps up this discussion. I'll say it again, and I will defend SWTOR when people say that, oh, the story sucks there. Nah, it does not. I can tell you, even like I've introduced a friend to Star Wars: The Old Republic because he watched The Force Awakens. That was his first Star Wars movie, and it was like, oh great, how far does this thing go back? And I'm like, in the 1970s and whatever, that was just like one period, and then there's games that go back thousands of years, and that's the formation, or that's at the height where the Jedis were at the height with the Sith and everything. So go check out SWTOR, and as a free player, he checked it out, and he absolutely loved the story. It was like watching an interactive movie, which is what BioWare does best. So I will continue to defend that game, that MMO, when it comes to storytelling. I just wish, again, that elsewhere it would be more well-rounded as an MMO, and maybe we'll talk about that in the future when I do jump back in. So hey, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy the content, and if you're new to my channel, you can hit the subscribe button for all kinds of MMO content. I do reviews, live streams, discussions, and stuff. So once again, I'm Adrian, and I thank you for watching. Hey, welcome to the end screen. If you've made it this far, it means you've watched the entire video, and I thank you very much for that. If you want to watch more videos, you can click on the cards at the bottom here. Anyone will do. And if you like my content, you can subscribe to the channel by hitting the big round button down here.